Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever OSW podcast for the 1st of January 2017, first of the year, which is great. My name is Zen, and I'm joined by the illustrious, but not a real doctor and wishes he was, 6-pounder.
Every time, man. You can't just say hello, this is him.
I can't.
You got to do it.
No, I actually have a bit. I think I'm gonna change that up every episode. We'll see what we can fit in there.
Okay, good.
If you don't know, this is our monthly podcast where we talk about games and other things that strike our fancy in a semi-organized fashion, hopefully. This is the first ever episode and will be free for everyone to view as kind of a teaser of what's to come. However, all future episodes will be special patron-only shows, and you can head over to patreon.com/OSWguild to support the channel. All patrons will get access to the current episode of the OSW podcast and all previous episodes as well. So if you do this in like a year, you get all of the episodes for the entire year. And the minimum support tier for this being $1 because we're cheapskates around here. In future episodes, there'll be guests joining us, including other content creators that you may or may not have heard of. And as a side note, this show is always open to changes, so expect changes to happen. This could be anything from format to how many episodes we're putting up a month, but we'll see. You let us know what you would like to see, and we'll take that feedback to heart. So let's kind of jump right into our episode with the format. So we're going to talk about the games we've been playing, as most of these kind of podcasts do, right off the bat for the past month. And then we're going to talk about viewer topics, which is great. You can submit your own topic over at patreon.com/OSWguild. That's a special tier for that kind of thing. Then we're going to talk about some of our topics, and we're going to finally just, close out with maybe some stories or whatever happens. We don't know. We're flying by the seat of our pants. It's going to be fun.
Yes, it will be. We're going to talk about Dark Souls for an hour straight, so be prepared. Wait.
That's weird. You said Dark Souls, but I heard Doom. So let's actually, jump into the games we have been playing for the month of December, the end of 2016, the horrible year, as people called it. I personally know that we both have been playing some Resident Evil. That was something that you and I jumped in on.
Yeah, I had to wear a diaper the whole time. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, you literally jumped at our own shadow. It was hilarious.
I did, but on a serious note, that game looks like it's shaping up to be pretty good, so we'll have to see. The demo was... Yeah, of course, you can't base it just on the demo, but let me just say that the fact that it even has a demo is a good sign.
It's a good sign, yeah. That means they have faith in what they're producing.
Exactly right. Yep, I agree.
But I mean, when you think about it, though, and this is something that I was considering while we were playing it, was I don't think 90% of the stuff that you do in the demo may even have any relation to what the actual game is going to be about. It's just kind of, it feels like a PT thing. PT was just a technical demo, a teaser. Yeah, to show you like, oh, this is the feel and the
what it could be.
Like the atmosphere of the game. Yeah, that's right. Cool. That's what it feels like this demo is, though I think there are going to be some things that translate, like the monster, spoiler, that jumps out at you. Watch our episodes. I think that's going to be something that jumps in there. But I got to mention, because we're recording this before we finish the final episode or two in recording for Resident Evil, but there's something interesting that happens, Six. If you get through, there's a good ending. We got the bad ending.
Yeah, we got a bad ending.
And then we got we died and we didn't get an ending because we died and we're dumb. There's also an infected ending. So if you get hit by the monster but get out, you're infected and you like can't get out of the house. But there is a good ending. We'll get there. There's also a secret ending on top of the good ending that gives you a coin. That's like it's like a coin with like the infected crap on it. And that transfers over into the final game. I don't know what it does, but finishing the demo.
You could use it in their cash shop for in-game modes.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'll just put that curse on me, Ricky Bobby.
I don't know that at all. I don't know.
Anyway, it's just a little fascinating. So we've been playing that.
Yes, we have.
I'm looking forward to the series in a weird way.
Yeah,
mostly
it's
scary.
Yeah, I mean, it harkens back to our Alien Isolation videos where just every episode was just so intense. That's how I felt in just our short playtime with the demo. So
And you were watching. You weren't even playing it.
Yeah, I'm not even playing half these games.
Yeah, it's pretty intense to play. It's weird because like I'm not a scary game guy. Full disclosure, I got to the water part in Amnesia, and like that was it. That was it. I didn't went any further than that because I was like, I'm done. So I watched other people finish it. So I'm not a scary game guy, but for me to get through Alien Isolation was kind of a big deal for me personally, and I feel like I've been prepped for Resident Evil, but I'm looking forward to that in January.
Yeah.
We've also been playing some Heroes of the Storm.
Oh,
you want to talk about that?
That game, it's definitely evolved in a good direction. I've noticed that we've been playing it, since it came out, but it's been getting funner as it's gone along, especially with the introduction of these new brawls. There's my, are they fun? Yeah, I haven't done that's the winter brawl that they're coming out with. It's similar to if you've played Hearthstone, same idea where there's different rules every week, but yeah, the game's been really fun, especially just playing together, and I love the changes they made, especially with Hero League. Makes it a lot more accessible, especially for me and you, since we never have a party of 5. It's just me and you. Yeah. So at least we could join in on Hero League. So it's been a lot of fun. I still suck.
You mean Team League?
Team League. Excuse me. Thank you. I still suck. You're still but it's fun.
I'm a diamond player.
I identify as a grandmaster, but I'm currently in gold.
I know I identify as gold, but my MMR says I'm diamond. So yeah. I don't know how that works.
I don't know. But yeah.
The funny thing about Heroes is that you can attest to this. It's like I jump into the game and I play it when a new character comes out. And I just I binge play it and get that character to the 10, and then I'm done for a while, And I think that's an okay way to play the game. But you're right, with the brawls, they've added a way for people to catch up on the gold curve so that they can keep buying new characters.
Pretty lucrative.
Yeah. And there's also new changes coming to Heroes this year. No longer will there be account level 40. Instead, your account level will be, it'll be the collection of all of your heroes. So,
which is good for you.
Yeah, my current hero level total is like 400. So I don't know what kind of things that adds. I didn't look into it, but I am kind of excited for that change.
Yeah, any change
means
like
that the progression feels better.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to how Diablo added Paragon levels. Same idea.
Yeah. That's actually very similar.
Something to just attain or strive for, even if it's just something superficial. It may not do anything other than just the number go up, but at least it's representative of the work you're putting in, I guess. But the game is definitely really fun, and if you haven't checked it out, definitely do. And because we're always playing.
You have to. Yeah, you have to. It's just one of those games that it's free, so why not?
Yeah, exactly. It's
fun. And you mentioned Diablo. I briefly played some Diablo this month to finish off my season. I was already done with it, but I did some other things that I wanted to finish.
Not me. I had no interest this season. I don't know why. We're normally on the ball, just playing nonstop for at least 2 to 3 weeks, but it was really only you this time, and I had no interest.
I was all alone.
Yeah, I had no interest. I don't know why.
And that's fine. A lot of it was there was nothing new added other than the portrait. Yeah,
I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And Legion came out.
But this next season starts in a week from when this episode goes out.
Yeah.
So, and it adds new stuff. So we'll probably talk about that in February's episode.
Yeah.
What I hear you've been playing some salty game.
Yeah, you want to hear about this more Dark Souls likes games.
Keep going.
No, I've been playing a lot of Dark Souls games, but more recently Salt and Sanctuary, which is a 2D Dark Souls Castlevania game. And it's been pretty fun. It made my Game of the Year list. It was, what number was it? Number 3. So it was pretty up there on the games I've been playing this year, and I've been playing it more recently than anything else, and it's just a lot of fun, a lot of dying. It's everything you've come to expect from Dark Souls, but just in a 2D platformer with more platforming elements, obviously, but it's been a lot of fun. So I've been playing that a lot.
Do you have anything else you've been playing?
Well, besides WoW again.
We'll get there. That'll be our final one we talk about.
What else have I been playing? Well, besides Heroes, I've been checking.
Why do you think about that?
Yeah.
I've been playing a little bit more of The Division. a game that a lot of people ditched way back in spring. Yeah, the survival update is really good. Like those like H1Z1 games like that people like play on Twitch.
Yeah.
The problem is those games are still in early access or beta or whatever. This is a finished game that added a finished mode to that game that is better than all of the other survival stuff out there. And it's really good. So I kind of hit that up. I'm expecting the next DLC, which comes out early next year, to be, even better. So that's just another one of those things that I go back to every couple months and jump in and have some fun.
Yeah, never really had any interest in it for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, you're not a big shooter guy.
No, that's true. And I talked about that, I think, previously, where I used to play first-person shooters so much when I was younger, and I just have fallen out with it. Even with Overwatch is an incredible game. It's great. It's awesome. It's fun, but I just can't get into it. I don't know why. It's not the competitive aspect. I just, I don't know what it is. Just not for me anymore, I guess. But hey, it's all the same.
So did you have another game
that I've been playing recently? Not particularly. I mean, I've played a lot during the year, but really Salt has been my go-to game at the moment. Just playing that. Legion's taken a lot of time, especially. I mean, we've been. I don't know if anybody else knows this, but we've been raiding, and
we do that.
Yeah, we're not telling anybody, but
that'll tie in really well to a later topic. But keep going.
But besides that, no, I just been having a lot of fun, just playing different things. Oh, tabletop mostly is the only other one we've been playing a lot of that. Just trying different games and a lot of things that I never would think I would play, but we try them out and it's fun, especially when we get a group of people together. Tabletop is
there's a couple ones that I've been looking for. Like I want to play a full game of Dead of Winter, but I can't get you guys somehow to play this game. I don't understand. It's so good and nobody wants to play it with me.
It's fun. It takes so long to set up, and then it seems
it actually it doesn't. It's just that's the perception from you guys.
I know.
I'm like, I got it.
It feels like that though.
And then there's like Fury of Dracula, which I want to try out. I showed you that last night. Looks pretty cool.
Looks really cool. I just looking at the board, it looks like a cool game. Looking at it subjectively, it looks cool.
Yeah, and I guess that's actually a good segue into we don't always just play video games. We have our. You're not a part of this one. Yeah, I know. We have our weekly D&D game that we play. So. If people don't know, which is great, I have a paladin named Ezra Donhart. He's a huge badass, actually. He's one of the strongest characters in the D&D 5th edition thing, because the paladins are a little overtuned to some degree. They have the highest burst damage output in combat, and they have some really powerful spells. So when it boils down to that class, I didn't choose it for that, but I have definitely optimized it to be kind of broken, and that's the kind of thing I enjoy playing RPGs. It's just min-maxing. But we're doing the Curse of Strahd campaign, and it's really good. There's some cool tie-ins with my character's backstory and everybody else's, and I think everybody's really enjoying it. That's the only game that I get to play in D&D wise, but we finished up our Star Wars game last month, and we've been working on our Shadowrun characters and our Star Wars characters for the episode 2, which the character creation videos went up a while ago. People can check that out, but the Shadowrun stuff I'm kind of looking forward to. But yeah, that's another game that we've played this month. It's weird to think about, but yeah.
Yeah, I loved our Star Wars campaign. Holy hell. I mean, it took all year to finish, but holy hell was it fun.
And it has me so excited for the next chapter because it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
I love that it connects to our world, that you guys are playing different characters, and that you're playing the characters that you essentially want, which is good.
Yeah, and just going back to your D&D campaign, even when I just sit in and I listen, because of time constraints, I can't always be there, but when I listen, it just sounds like so much fun. And I had never played a D&D campaign before this year, and just all the things we've been doing with it has been really fun. I've enjoyed it tremendously.
Like, if I had to pick a highlight of 2016, it would be us starting tabletop gaming.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a huge. It's weird because it's like we play video games all the time with each other, but tabletop game, there's something different about it that it just brings people together a bit more. It's interesting.
Yeah, even when we play, what is it, House on Haunted Hill? Just,
yeah,
it's a betrayal, thank you. I always want to call it House on Haunted Hill. I don't know why.
I did the same thing when we first started playing it.
But even just playing that, it's a quick game. It's an hour long or whatever, and it's just, it's such a good time.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, let's talk about Legion a bit because we've been raiding.
Yes, we have.
We all came back with the launch of Legion, and by we all, I mean people who either played back in our original Cataclysm days.
Yeah, Cata.
People that you played with you back in Wrath included, and then people who also played with us in WildStar and in Star Wars. So we have this really good group, and we've been raiding, and we haven't made the progress that, we've been progressing at our own rate. We haven't been trying to race anybody, but it's been really fun. We have all of Emerald Nightmare Heroic done. We have all of Trial of Valor Normal done, which we just recently did because we haven't been running it. Having issues with certain people showing up or whatnot, which is okay. That's just like a time thing.
We're all adults here.
Yeah. And but we did get through it, and now it's like, okay, now we need to start Heroic on that. But then Nighthold comes out this month, so kind of looking forward to that. It's gonna be interesting.
I think we could clear out the Trial of Valor raid before it comes out. I think we would only need a week. I don't think it'll take us that long, but it has been a lot of fun raiding. It's funny because as we've gotten older, I started raiding when I was 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
And we would raid, what is it, like 4 days a week or whatever the hell it was. And now we're like, we'll raid a day and a half for like 2 hours at a time.
Yeah. We're like, let's do Monday and Tuesday and let's only be in there for like an hour.
Yeah. But we're doing well for how long we go in there, and it's still been fun. I have a great time. I have what do I have? I'm playing my Paladin, of course. And then I also have a Shaman who's my main alt, but Paladin's the one I'm going with. And you're a cheating Demon Hunter.
Dude, the Demon Hunter is everything I've ever wanted. It's so much fun.
I hate you bastards in PvP.
It's both the DPS spec and the tank spec just feels so good for me to play. I just enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've been progressing, and I said this in our Christmas special, but this is like one of the only times in WoW history that I've logged in every single day to get my emissary quest done. Not because I'm like having super fun doing it. It's just, it feels like it's become a part of my my routine in the morning. I make coffee, I sit down, I do my emissary quests. I'm not bored of them because they always feel different. I'm always hitting up different quests every day. So it's interesting how like the game can continue to bring us back, and there's always something for us to work towards leveling up the artifact weapons and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun.
And in the same way that they added Paragon levels and they're changing the things for Heroes of the Storm to gain additional levels, they added the same thing in WoW with the artifact weapon, where you're you're continually trying to strive towards getting more powerful. And it's so funny they add these things into the game, like it's like
it's been our ongoing joke that every game is Diablo.
Yeah, everything is Diablo.
But it's becoming true,
right? Especially with the legendaries. Oh man.
Yeah, it works though. It works really well for RPGs, and there's a reason why Reaper of Souls is so good.
I don't even want to look to see how many hours we've put into that game. I don't even want to know. It might be horrific.
Several of my classes, I think the Demon Hunter and the Crusader both have like 400 hours.
Oh.
I think the Monk has about 200. The Barb is like 80. Yeah, it's a little much.
Yeah. It's just like when I look on my played time of WoW and my Paladin has like 400 hours or 400 days. It's like, oh, what have I done?
Don't do that, Math. You don't want to do that to yourself.
I know. But yeah, we've been having a lot of fun raiding. It's been great. I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna hide it.
Yeah, and this is like, it's weird to say, but I'm looking forward to the next raid. I'm looking forward to actually sitting down and playing.
Killing Gul'dan.
And playing playing through that, seeing the story that Sir Mar finished and everything, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's like I haven't said that about an MMO in a long time, but it's true.
No, not since WildStar, I think.
Yeah. And WildStar has the best rating I've ever done. Like, there's nothing that has so far matched their rates. They've been really good. But speaking of another MMO, I did jump in and start playing some more SWTOR this month. There's a whole story there.
Do tell.
That might be a story for a different time. Essentially, a while ago, like earlier this, like near spring, I was like, I'm going to do a Knights of the Fallen Empire series where I make this series and I put it up on the channel just like my old ones. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I haven't even told you about that happened that have prevented me from putting any episodes of that up, including a...
Okay. Now I'm intrigued.
Arguing with Sony Music because SME owns a lot of the music for Star Wars.
Okay.
And they claimed a couple of our videos previously, and I'm like, that it's no problem. Like, I can get those unclaimed, but they essentially threatened that if I put anything else up, that they'll just like get the channel shut down. And I was like, you can't do that. So I had to double check. I've been talking to YouTube directly and people over at Maker Studios and getting that figured out. And then on top of that, to stall this entire process, there was a person who uploaded, and I did tell you about this, like 30 or 40 of our videos.
Yeah. They just re-uploaded them, yeah.
Re-uploaded and claiming them as their own. And to some degree, if it was a person being like, I really like your videos, I want them cached in case anything ever happens. It's like, cool, I get that. But that's not what he was doing. He was pretty much pretending to be us.
Yeah.
And that caused a lot of
not
issues
cool.
because some of those videos were the ones that got claimed by SME, and then they got into this. So there's like this long thing going on in the background that has prevented me from doing the Knights of the Fallen Empire series. That said, everything should have been worked out recently where we can kind of get it uploaded. But
okay.
Yeah, I jumped back into SWTOR to kind of
I didn't know all
get
that.
Going.
That's intense.
It's been a long year, man. It's been a long year. Like, it's funny because, and we'll get into more about you. There's a good topic for this later. But yeah, you go to work and you come home and then like I'm already here and I'm playing games and stuff. But it's that whole time that you're typically at work that I'm doing this weird stuff in the background where I'm like having to contact YouTube or the my.com people.
You mean you're doing your job? Wow.
Yeah, like I'm actually doing weird work that people don't think that I would normally be doing, but it is stuff that is essential to keeping the channel running and stuff like that. So it's just,
yeah, of course.
Yeah. And a lot of that is, again, a story that will come out in greater detail in the future for the SWTOR stuff. But it was just interesting how that all happened, and that's why that series hasn't been up. Let's finish this games topic off real quick by talking about our game of the years that we chose.
Okay.
Yay,
Dark Souls.
And you would have chose Doom if you played Doom.
I watched you play Doom, and it was very fun.
Yeah, but playing it is a different thing.
Not quite the same.
I think, and that's what I wanted to talk about a bit here, is previous to Doom coming out, we were all watching videos going, I don't know about that. Something feels off.
Yeah, it didn't look
And
good.
then once you actually got it in your hands and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And the whole idea behind Doom is that it's not a game that you're scared behind. It's not a game that you're cowering or sneaking through or figuring out puzzles. It's a game that you have a giant smile on your face as you bob your head to the music and blow demons up. That is that game. That is what that game is. Yeah. And until you actually play it, you can't express that into anybody. It's pure bliss. So I wanted to talk about why we chose our games of the year. We don't have a lot of time to do that in our Christmas special, but I figured now would be the time to kind of hit on that. So
yeah,
why was it that you chose Dark Souls?
Well, it kind of goes back to when Garrick was always trying to get me to play Dark Souls 1. He was just try it. So I tried it, and then I played it for a while, and then I stopped for about 6 months. I think up to the first real boss, the Taurus demon, and I just stopped after that. I don't know why, just didn't click with me. I put it down. Came back a while later, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I just couldn't. And ever since then, I just couldn't stop playing it. From dying to ONS like 50 times and then getting it. It's the best feeling. It's the best feeling. And
yeah.
And
I don't know. I don't play Dark Souls.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. You just wouldn't know. And it just I've played all of them now. I played 1 and then I played 3 and then more recently I went back and I played 2. And
you're about to start on Bloodborne, right?
Yeah, now I'm going to play Bloodborne. Got to catch up on that now. But it's just the series has gotten better and better as they've gone. Dark Souls 3 is just the epitome of that style of game, and it's so good. Everything about it is it's just so good. You just don't understand. I mean, you can watch me play it, but you just don't know.
It's been a running joke recently that that you guys like will be in the background of a video just like making Dark Souls references and just like, oh god,
and they
go away.
And he hates us so much every time we do it.
And it's not that I hate Dark Souls. I have played Dark Souls. There's a reason I do not like Dark Souls, and it's hard.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's hard for me to tell like Alex or even Rabble more recently why I don't like it. It's just that it's too slow. The game isn't, and goes back to Doom, right? The game isn't satisfying to play, where like things like Doom is. But that's not a Dark Souls problem necessarily. It was their deliberate choice of making the combat feel chunky and a little clunky and hard to use.
Well, see, 3 changes that. 1 is definitely a slow game. I'll give you that. But 3 isn't. I wouldn't classify that as a slow game anymore.
Even 3 is still too slow for me.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. And this is the thing. It's like, I like boss killing games, obviously, because I raid in WoW, right? I like taking down a boss. I like the feeling, but I want that feeling to feel satisfying when I do it, when I'm in the process of learning it and I'm dying, which is why, like, and recently I brought up Fury to you, which is a game that I've played a month ago. I didn't play it this month, but I did play it a month ago. It's really fun. It's just a quick game. The combat is really fun, and it's the same concept as Dark Souls. It's just you're not punished so much. It doesn't feel like you're being dragged through the game as you play it. It feels more like you are wanting to play the game because you want to play it, and killing the bosses is just a side effect of that. And it even comes down to like other action games like Devil May Cry and Metal Gear Solid Revengeance, like games like that. I really enjoy that kind of combat. And when I pick up Dark Souls, that's what I want, and that's not what I'm getting, which is why Bloodborne is interesting to me, because it has more of that style. It's just not, it's not what I want out of the game, Dark Souls.
And that's okay. That's okay. You know,
it is okay.
Not everybody's going to like Dark Souls, but it's been such a big franchise for me this past year that I don't know what I was doing before this. I don't know. I don't know how I didn't play these games. And it's just, now I'm playing a 2D version in Salt and Sanctuary. It's like, what has happened? What have I done? Ugh. And
maybe one of these days I'll play it.
Yeah. You might like Salt because it's more, Metroidvania kind of game.
I probably would like Salt.
Just a more punishing version, I guess. But yeah, it's not for everybody. I'll give you that. So
yeah, but like, and that again just goes back to why I chose Doom. It's just such a satisfying game to play, and that was their intention when making the game. Once they actually moved on to the Doom project and not whatever Doom 4 was.
Yeah,
and on top of that, I like funny games. Like I like games that don't necessarily take themselves seriously.
Oh, and that game doesn't. That's for sure.
Exactly. I like games that, that can take a joke and can make a good joke and make it not seem misplaced. BioWare games do a really good job of throwing in like comedy, but for the most part, those games are generally serious. Whereas Doom is a generally comedic game with this, like, okay, here's a really good example. You remember those codexes that you're picking up? That's like, oh, here's the imp, and this is what the imp is, and it's this kind of demon, and it throws fireballs and stuff. Did you know that there's a second layer to the codex that you can get?
What do you mean second layer?
So as you progress, you can find these second codexes, and the second codex is like opening up to the crazy section in a cult book, right? Like, it's with a cult, if you look at the baseline, you're like, oh, okay, I see what they're going with. They believe in this kind of thing. It's all pretty above board. And then the moment that you dunk your head under the water with that cult, you realize there's a lot of creepy stuff going on that they don't want you to know about. That's the second level of this codex. So that imp, the first level is like, it's just this demon that throws fireballs and stuff. But the second level is, if you come across one of these, you better bend over and kiss your ass goodbye, like, because it's gonna murder you. And it just like keeps going into like all this. Like, the first level of the codex is this pretty normal thing. These are demons, yada yada yada. The second codex is like, yeah, we're gonna use these guys for power, to power our mechanical stuff on Mars and stuff like that. And then the second level, goes into, yeah, we're gonna do that by doing human sacrifices, and it brings out the crazy. And that's what I mean by it's a funny game, because it does that as a joke.
It reminds me of like the Hearthstone text on their card.
Yeah,
it's similar to
very
that.
Accurate.
What is that called? What are the
flavor text?
Flavor text. Thank you. In Magic, yeah, they call it flavor text.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's just like that. That's great. I never realized that.
It's just one of those gems in the game that you pick up on as you play it, and it's just so good. That's why it was my game of the year. Let's talk about games, and I sent you this link so you have it. Let's talk about games coming out next year. What games are you looking forward to next year?
Well, I kind of talked about this in the Game of the Year video, but definitely I am a huge fan of South Park, and hopefully,
you are.
Hopefully, the Fractured Butthole comes out next year. I think, where is it?
You didn't say that right.
What's it? The Fractured Butthole.
Thank you. Much better.
Is it listed on here? I don't know. If
I don't think it is, because it technically does not have a release.
Because it doesn't have a release date. Yeah, but that's probably the game I'm most interested in. Besides, they haven't announced it yet, but the next Dark Souls 3 DLC is supposed to come out sometime next year as well. So I'm definitely interested in that.
The problem with South Park is we both kind of agree on this. They haven't been talking about it, which is bad news. Like, there's no advertising. So it means that they're probably going to push it back. Like, I think we can both agree that this game is not coming out at the early. It was supposed to come out like January or February, but it's definitely not. I don't think it's. I'm expecting it in fall. And likewise, Mass Effect is a game that I'm really looking forward to, but I am really scared about this game. There's a lot of pressure on them. We've seen very little of it. The gameplay video, the gameplay revealed that they showed at the Game Awards was pretty rough. Made it look like Dragon Age Inquisition, which is a good thing, but it felt kind of rough around the edges. They came out and just admitted that, the facial animations aren't done yet, so they were kind of wonky. That's okay. But what I'm afraid is that it's going to get pushed not to the end of 2017, but to spring of 2018. And I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Something similar happened to Dragon Age Inquisition. It got pushed and pushed and pushed, but it came out and it was great. I'm not doubting that it's going to be a good game. I'm just doubting when it's coming out.
Yeah. I mean, the other game that I'm kind of hopefully it's good as Horizon Zero Dawn. I really want a reason to turn on my PlayStation 4 besides Netflix. I really want a reason, and Bloodborne. But literally, the only thing I use my PlayStation for at the moment is just Netflix. That's it. Like
I mean, that game is gonna get me to buy a PS4 Pro.
Yeah. Don't get me started on the PS4 Pro. Holy hell, is that thing?
Yeah. But if you're buying one and you don't have a PS4, like there's one in the house that I'm at, but if you don't have one, then you may as well get a PS4
might as well,
Pro.
But it's just all these console gamers,
they don't know, man.
They just don't know the PC master race.
They don't even know.
They just don't know.
But yeah, Horizon looks great. It looks like a game that's going to define the PlayStation for a while now. Looks like a unique world that I want to explore. And
it looks good.
Out.
Hopefully it runs well.
It looks pretty.
Because all these games that they show and they look good, they run like absolute dog crap. Yeah. It's like less than 30 frames and there's 720p. Yep. It's like, oh, Jesus.
In that same vein, Resident Evil 7, which looks fantastic and runs very well, comes out on the 24th of January. We'll be doing the series, obviously.
Yes, we will be. Excited about that.
So I'm not looking forward to that.
Get your Depends ready, boys.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an interesting one. I want to see what they do with it. I think I I'm trusting in them to do a new thing that is going to work. Because it's very clear that they're doing something new. Now, did you know? Because I bet you didn't, because you're not into the Resident Evil franchise. Resident Evil is not called Resident Evil in Japan. It's called Biohazard.
Wow, that is so generic.
It is very different. But over here, it's called Resident Evil. That's been the case since Resident Evil 1. It was Biohazard back in Japan.
Okay.
Now,
tell me why.
I'll get there. I played Resident Evil 1 and 2 on the PlayStation. My dad bought them. I beat both of the games, and they were really great. I really liked them. But those were those third-person fixed camera like horror games. This is a new thing for them. It's a first-person PT-like, scary game. And the whole thing about it is that it's called Biohazard in Japan, but it's called Biohazard 7 Resident Evil. Whereas over here, it's Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. And the Z on Biohazard for them is the 7. So it's a really good idea because the evil on Resident Evil for us is the VII is the 7 for us. So it's they did really good marketing.
Whoa.
But the thing is that I was thinking about this the other day when we played it. I think because it takes years to make games. We know this, right? I think they started working on Resident Evil 7 long before PT came out, or probably around the same time they started working on the Silent Hills. And then they released the PT demo, and I bet you they were already working on Resident Evil 7, but at the same time, I think for the Resident Evil 7 team, that was a bit of a confirmation that, yes, the market wants this kind of thing, which helped them out a lot. And what helped them even more was that PT got canceled. So Silent Hills is no longer coming out, and now Resident Evil 7 is the only game like this that is going to be out there. So it's fascinating how that all worked out. But yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day and how that is very beneficial for them.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully the game turns out well because the demo shows a lot of promise.
Yeah. It's a couple more games next year. There's For Honor. Looks fun.
Yeah.
Another Ubisoft game.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, apparently. It looks...
No.
There's a new Dynasty Warriors. I didn't even see this. Oh, geez, we shouldn't tell Garrick. He loves Dynasty Warriors, doesn't he?
Dude, there's a new Dynasty Warriors like every month or something. Torment Tides of Numenera is coming out. That looks really good. That's kind of those old school ARPGs set in the Numenera world. Remember when Alex and I did the Numenera tabletop RPG stuff?
Yeah.
It's set in that world, so it's interesting.
Okay.
And then a game that I can say that I have played that it's Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. I've played it.
Did you?
I can't tell. Yeah, I can't. You know that I have because I talked to you about this before. I can't tell anybody anything about the game, but I can say that I'm going to be buying it. It is really good. There you go.
That's all there is.
That was a very, very, very early version of that game that I got to play. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up 2017.
Things that we know so far, at least.
Exactly. I'm hoping that we get to E3 and we get another Fallout 4 situation where there's just a ton of games that get announced that come out at the end of the year. I think that would be the best. And we know that there's like a Battlefront 2 coming out.
So hopefully.
Yeah. Obviously the Nintendo Switch is coming out. We'll talk more about that next month's episode after the press conference and see what that's all about. But that looks interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a Wii U, but I'm definitely interested in that. It looks cool. So
yeah, I like the Wii and the Wii U. I know that they weren't they're not something that a lot of hardcore games, especially PC gamers, jump into, but they're fun. They got some good games on them. So we'll see what the Switch is about.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's jump into viewer topics. Again, if you want your own viewer topic on the show, you can head over to patreon.com. There's a tier of support that allows you to send in topics, and anything above that tier continues to also give that topic. Our first viewer topic ever, which is cool, comes from Ken RQ. longtime viewer of our content and a huge supporter of the channel. It's cool because I wasn't going to do a viewer topic for this first episode, but he managed to jump in on Patreon at pretty much the right time for when this was all happening. So I sent a message and he sent us a topic back. It says, if I remember correctly, you relocated to another state a while ago, and I'm wondering how things have gone for you. It's talking to me. And this is for you, since I don't know much about 6 at all. Maybe you can give a good introduction, or maybe a good introduction would be nice, rather. So let's start. Who are you?
Oh, we're starting with me, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I live in Philadelphia, so there's that.
You do indeed.
They always make fun of me. It's okay.
Because you say water?
Because I say water, and we eat cheesesteaks for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But
now you have told me that the cheesesteaks that I eat are not the real cheesesteaks.
No, they're fake. They're not. No, it's not real. You guys put your stupid peppers and onions in it. It's like that. We don't do that.
But peppers and onions is delicious.
Yeah, that's okay.
You just put cheese and steak on bread.
It's literally just cheese and meat. It's all you need. Now, it can be the chop steak or the flat steak. It's fine. But none of this other crap. Cheese and meat on a long roll.
You've heard it here first.
Don't be a heathen and put this other stuff on.
Continue on.
But no, I am an old fart at 31. I am a pharmacist, and I am a doctor.
You're not a real doctor.
So that's where the joke comes from. So now you know that I am a doctor.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Been playing games since my dad let me play his Dragon's Lair on his Apple.
Ooh,
back in the day, and then ever since then I've been gaming, so that's pretty much it.
You know, I too played Dragon's Lair, but it was on the Atari ST.
Yeah, this was on some Apple, or it might have been an IBM. I honestly don't remember. But he used one of those big floppies, and big old floppy. Then I graduated. My first console was a Super Nintendo. Never had a Nintendo, but I got a Super Nintendo. My first vivid memory of gaming is the giant bullet bill firing at me in Mario. And it's been going strong since then.
That's good.
Yeah. Mostly a PC gamer, but.
So how was it that we met, Six Pounder?
We met in WoW.
Wait, actually, let me back this up. You've been married, right?
Recently, that's right.
You've been married.
Yeah. I'm still alive. She hasn't murdered me. We've been married for a year now. It's been going great. Yeah.
That is really good.
So no ideas then. I'm off the market. Sorry.
Oh, man.
Oh, shucks.
Now, I like to tell the story that I was there when you first met her.
Everybody, he seems to think that he's the reason, because he kept telling me to tell her how high my APM was
on StarCraft, because that's what we were into at the time, watching Day 9.
Yeah,
which that's how far back our love for Day 9 goes.
I'm so upset he doesn't do StarCraft anymore.
That's cool. He's about to do Dota.
Really? Oh, crap.
Yeah, he's gonna do a 4-month-long Dota series.
Oh wow. Okay.
Isn't that interesting that we like that all started? And we got really into StarCraft because of Day 9, and then we had that weird day happen where it's just we got introduced, and then I've been playing games with them ever since. And yeah, interesting how
you've been our glorious leader for a long time now, raid leading.
I have been. So let's actually talk about that, because that's kind of what I was getting at with how we met.
Okay.
So Cataclysm comes out. I had not played WoW since Ulduar came out in Wrath of the Lich King. Cataclysm comes out, and I'm with my dad, and he's jumping back into the game. And I thought, you know what? This looks interesting. I was watching Total Biscuit do some videos, and I was like, okay, I could do this. This seems fun. So I jumped back in. The guild that my dad was playing on was Died There Been That, and I joined in. Now, the thing is, the original guild leader and raid that was going on was from, what was her name? Mojo? Is that what?
Something like that, yeah.
Was that it? It was just Mojo?
Yeah.
So she was a priest. We started raiding. It was a lot of fun. We were doing Bastion of Twilight and Blackwing Descent, but the problem is we weren't making too much progress. And a lot of that was because, and now again, a lot of people know this about me. I'm a hyper competitive person. So if I'm not doing well, I am not happy. I'm not satisfied. And we weren't doing well. We kept getting stuck on bosses we shouldn't be stuck on. And the way they were running the raid was a very relaxed way of doing it. And I'm okay with that, but that's not what I signed up for. So I told my dad, I was like, I'm not sure this is for me. I kind of want to go elsewhere. I want to find other people. And it was through that process that you started raiding with us, and a couple other people did as well, and who ended up taking over the raid because Mojo and her husband, who played with us, both left the game. They stopped playing WoW. I think they went to go play Guild Wars, right?
No,
Rift. No, Rift. That was when Rift came out.
Is that still a thing?
I don't think so. I don't know. EverQuest 1 is still a thing. Who knows?
True.
So they start playing that. We no longer have a raid leader. We no longer have a guild leader. Guild lead gets tossed over to a man named Hots, who was a healing druid, though he preferred to tank generally. And he was really fun, and he lived in the sticks in like Alabama. Is that where it was?
No, Kentucky.
Oh, so he did live in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That ties in nicely. I'll get there. So essentially, he takes over the guild, and a guy named Kid Death takes over the raid.
Oh Lord. I heard that name in a while.
Not the best raid leader, but he did succeed in one thing, which was getting a group of 10 people together that had potential. Now, fast forward about a month, he disappears off the face of the earth. He just doesn't log in one day, and we don't hear from him for about a month. So me being the person that I am, I'm a person with a lot of leadership training in a weird way. It was just like the organizations that I've been a part of and the places that I've volunteered and stuff in the past. I've been trained for leadership. So it's not something that I like to just like jump in on. Like I didn't want to take control of this raid, but I did because I wanted it to be successful and I knew that I could lead it there. So I grab control of the raid from him because he doesn't show up. I start getting people on board. Obviously, you're a part of this. We get a guy named Hero, who is a good priest, and he has his own YouTube channel now. Do you know what his YouTube channel is? Should plug it.
Haruma Red, I think is the name of it.
Haruma Red. Yeah. Don't know how to spell that. HIRUMA Red.
Yeah, something like that.
But. Okay, you could search it. He's got his own stuff now. He's doing WoW stuff, but he was one of our healers. Hots came in as a healer as well. Six, you were healing on Slanderous, your shaman. And I was tanking on Zenkiki, the druid, which felt good. My dad was playing with us. Eventually, we brought in Bram, which was a pug. And Bram is one of those people that played Wildstar and Star Wars with us. And he's been around and he's following us. And now he's raiding with us now.
And playing D&D.
And playing D&D. He's a much older person. He's younger than my dad. My dad's in the 60s, but basically he's fairly well-aged.
Well-seasoned.
You could say. Yeah. And his son is now, who's in college and everything, is now raiding with us as well. So there was like this long process of getting all these people together where we had this raid. It was going well. Kid Death comes back. Turns out his computer died. And he was like, what the hell did you do to my raid? And I was like, you mean my raid? You
what
left.
Raid?
Yeah. That was the last we really ever heard of him.
Yeah, I haven't seen him log on.
Yeah, exactly. And we've just kind of continued ever since. And we had a lot of success with that raid group. That's where this all begins. When we did Firelands and we were competing for position on our server of like who was going to finish things first, we were up there. And when we did Dragon Soul, we were up there in that rating. In fact, we were the first to finish the meta achievement on the server for Dragon Soul.
That was fun.
That was good.
I love
that. Was
raid.
like we were firing on all cylinders back then, and it was at that time that I started the channel. And you and I did a Portal playthrough way back in the day.
Portal 2. Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Don't look that up. It was bad. It was really bad. But there was a really funny moment where every time I think about it, I laugh. Where I hit you midair with the box and you just like fell straight down.
The box incident of 2011.
Yeah, that was. Wow, it's been a long time.
Or whatever that was.
That was like where this all started and why the channel started and everything was because I had people like you. Yeah, I had people like you around me, and I said I could do that. And Holy, who went to Star Wars with us, didn't go to WildStar with us, but is now tanking again with us, was a part of all that back then. And yeah, it's just funny how we met because of WoW.
Because of video games.
And last year, about this time, we got invited down because of the channel to go to the Armored Warfare launch event and also celebrate the launch of Skyforge, which we had gotten contracted to do a video series about. So it's interesting because, like, 4 years later, after meeting in WoW, we actually met IRL. We talked about that last year to a great extent, and that was like one of our highlights of the year.
It's like, oh, you have a body? I thought you were just a voice over the internet.
I know. And it's very lovely voice.
It's glorious.
But yeah, that's where we met, and that's kind of how you came to be. You didn't go to Star Wars. Well, you did play Star Wars. You never made it to max level. You were one level away.
Oh God, let's not talk about
that. But you continued to play WoW, and we just continued to play games in the meantime because it's not that we play WoW, therefore we talk to each other. It's we're friends, therefore we play games with each other.
Yeah, there's no distinction. It's literally just we get online and we just play something. It doesn't matter what it is.
So I'm going to spring this question on you because I was meaning to do this. Ooh. What's your favorite thing that's been on the channel? That's the first question. Second question, if you could do anything on the YouTube channel, what would it be?
Well, let me ask a question about the first question. So is it something that I was a part of or just anything?
It's just anything.
God, you're going to hate me. I really liked Alex's playthrough of Dark Souls.
I hate you. You just laugh it up, Furball.
No, I did enjoy that, but I think I most enjoyed our Alien Isolation playthroughs. I
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a ton of fun, and I had forgotten about the portal thing, but even playing through that was a ton of fun. Just anything we do together, I guess, is a good time. I enjoy, even if I'm not actively playing. I enjoy the experience of being there.
Yeah,
even just
being there. Yeah. It's kind of like the good old days when we all played like on N64 and whatnot.
Yeah, split screen.
Just sitting there like playing split screen games, or even just watching a friend like play through a game. It's fun, and it's cool to experience that with another person, and that's why that's like our mission statement on the channel. It's just having fun content. As long as we're doing fun things, we're just enjoying what we're doing.
And
so, what do you want to do on the channel?
What do I want to do?
If you could do anything.
Oh, dear. Well, I don't know. It's not one thing in particular. I just like being involved. So whatever it is, I'm game. If it's something fun, no matter what it is,
true.
If it's playing tabletop, whatever it is, I just want to be a part of it. So I don't, it's not something in particular, just I want to be there.
Which is why I asked you to be a part of this podcast, because I know that you're that guy. You're always there when I ask.
And it's funny because that's one thing that people hate about me is that I'm always excited and I'm never like depressed about anything. I'm always that guy that's always happy. So no matter what it is, I'm going to like it. And Garrick hates me for that. It's fine.
He does, but that's why the rest of us love you. And you have like a weird cult following on the channel of people who enjoy watching this stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
you do. But it's cool because it's like you bring something different to the table than I do, and that Alex does even. So it's fun having you around. But yeah, that's to answer Ken's question. That's who you are.
Yeah,
you're nobody special. You're a greasy Italian, and you're married because of me.
And I have very high APM. Tell the ladies.
Yeah, you have your APM.
No, wait, don't tell the ladies. I'm married.
Shh, don't tell Lindsay. Don't. So moving on with the second part of the question, which was his first part of the question, which he says, if I remember correctly, you relocated to another state a while ago, and I'm wondering how things have gone for you since. That is a story within itself. Yes and no. Yeah. So first I want to start by saying that sometimes things don't work out the way we plan. And this was certainly one of those times. But at the same time, even if I had a mentor tell me one time. He said life is like a really curvy road that goes up and down hills and all over the place, but you never really know which direction you're going until you get to a certain point where you look back and you see the road that you've traveled and you go, oh, I see why certain things needed to happen for me to get to the point where I'm at, and I can appreciate those things a lot more. And this is certainly the case. I never did end up going to Atlanta, but I'm glad that I didn't. One, I would have been in a much worse state than I am now, and I think I would have felt very pigeonholed. There would have been good things that could have come of it. Living with Alex and living with all the people in Atlanta, because we know a lot of people there that are a part of our like immediate friends list. Yeah. It would have been fun, but I don't think it would have been good for me on a professional level and on a personal level. So with that in mind, and with that being said, I never went. Things don't happen sometimes. I'm not willing to talk about that at the moment, but a lot of it was I just didn't have the monetary support that I needed to get out there that I thought I was going to have. And instead I've been over the past few months, instead of being in Atlanta, I've been where I was at previously. And for the past couple of years, I've been living with one of my friends that I've known pretty much my entire life since I was a baby. His name's Luke. He was the person who started our website. And since then we've butted heads a bit. And the reason for that is numerous, but I think it all starts with expectations. And this goes down to a relationship thing when it comes to anybody in your life, right? It's all about managing expectations, if that makes any sense. And for me, in general, my expectation going into this was much different than what I think he was expecting. We started me moving in by simply... what's the best? Like he wanted to start the website. He brought that idea to me and I said, sure, cool. If that's what you want to do, let's try that. And I think in some way he was trying to jump on the channel. He wanted to be a part of it. And I was okay with that because he's a friend. What ended up happening was two things. The website wasn't necessarily the way that I envisioned it. And this is, at the end of the day, this is my baby. This is my product. And I'm going to make sure that the direction gets put, and this kind of goes back to me leading the raid, right? Like this is the kind of guy I am. I'm going to make sure that what I have around me is what I want to be. And the channel's no different. So the direction with that is the website wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. And it also just wasn't getting the traffic. A lot of that is just because websites aren't really needed for YouTube stuff. Even streamers and stuff, they don't need a website. It just doesn't make any sense. I think with the recent and only example being Day 9 having his own website, that's because he has put his community there. That's where a lot of the community talks and interacts. Though now he has, excuse me, I forgot the hiccups. Now he has his own Discord channel and Discord server and stuff, which I'm on, and I do talk to a lot of people there, but that seems to be another place where his community interacts. And our website just wasn't fulfilling that. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to. So we shut down the website, as many people know. And essentially, that kind of started a lot of stuff. Was rather the start to kind of the rift between Luke and I, not seeing eye to eye, expectations not necessarily working. And I wanted to get out of here. And he's been very generous in letting me stay here. This coming off of, trying to get the channel up and running on its own and everything. And essentially, like I said, I wanted to move to Atlanta because I thought that was going to be a good start for like the next phase of life. And simply put, I don't think it was going to be. And instead, what I've decided to do is I've been living with Luke still, but I'm moving very soon. By the time this goes up, this will already have happened, is I'm going to go back with my dad, which me and my dad are very close, so that works. He's currently living in Kentucky, so I'm going to be in Kentucky for a while.
Funnily enough, where our old raid leader was.
Exactly. Thank you. This is perfect because that tie-in I was expecting. But yeah, I'm going to go live with him for a while and just essentially figure out what the next few years of all of this is going to look like, and then execute on that. And this boils down to back to the tabletop thing. Ever since playing D&D and the Star Wars game and stuff, I've reignited my passion for wanting to be in game design again. When I first graduated high school back in 2006, I moved to Florida. A lot of people don't know this. I moved to Florida.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I lived in just outside of Orlando in Winter Park. And me and my buddy, we drove all the way there. He went to Full Sail University for film. He's now a pretty big deal at the Marines, from what I understand. Him and I talk infrequently, but it's one of those friends that you don't really need to talk to stay up to date. But I was going to go there for game design. That never ended up panning out, and I think that was okay. But I do kind of want to get back into game design. That's what I've been looking at. And many people have already kind of hinted or gotten the hint at this from things that I've said on Twitter or whatnot. I've been applying to many different companies, a lot of them calling me back. High Res, for instance, in Atlanta, was really interested in me coming in editing videos, though that didn't pan out. There was a position at Roll20 that I was talking to people about, and Blizzard and BioWare are two other good examples of companies that I have been in contact with. So that's kind of where I want to head, but I still want to keep doing the channel. So having to balance that is very interesting. So to answer your question, Ken, and thank you for your topic, that's what happened. That's why I'm not in Atlanta, and that's how things have been going. That's why the Patreon to me is so crucial and important, is because just having enough money to like basically live, right? To have rent and food.
That's important.
And stuff.
Yeah.
It's important. And the Patreon contributes a lot to that. And I've been really thankful for the people supporting us on there. But yeah, that's enough of that story. I'm sure more stuff will come up in later episodes. I didn't want to linger on that for too long. But if you too, again, want to submit your questions for future episodes, head over to patreon.com/OSWguild. And you can donate at the $10 mark, and you will be able to put your own topic in. That said, I wanted to quickly talk about our topics. Mine kind of was the 2017 in games and everything. But you recently told me that you're about to go on an adventure with your father. What exactly is that?
Yeah. Like I said before, my gaming career kind of started playing Dragon's Lair. And my dad's an old fart too. He's going to be 68.
Jeez. And our dads are close.
I know. And I thought it would be a great idea that I want to build him a computer together with him. So that's his birthday's in January. So that's something we're going to be doing. And I'm really excited about that from just being a PC gamer. And I want to share that experience with my dad. And I hope he's excited. And I bought him to get it started for Christmas. I bought him what did I buy? A Asus monitor, a 1440p monitor.
Oh my.
Yeah. So I hope he likes it. And then we're going to
Now, did you go 144 hertz?
Of course.
Did you go plebeian 60?
No, I got the 165 one. I mean, I go big or go home.
Dang.
So I hope he likes it, and we're going to have a good time building the computer in January. I don't know what graphics card I'm going to get, though, so maybe you guys could suggest something. I don't know if I'm going to go with a 1080 or maybe a 1070. Maybe
1070 is like the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe he wants to go AMD, and we'll get one of their new chips that they just came out with. Was it Risen? That they're coming out with soon?
I don't know. I don't follow AMD stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it's the new chips that they're coming out with that's supposed to compete with the 6900 series or 6800 series, something like that.
The problem is the AMD stuff. They just they seem to have the most issues with new games when they come out. It's like, oh yeah, the game runs fine unless you have an AMD. It's like, come on.
But I'm sure we'll just get like a Skylake chip, maybe a 6600K or something like that. But whatever he wants is what we're going to do. And also I'll take suggestions on cases as well. If you guys have any suggestions on what case to get, not looking for a full tower, maybe what is it? ATX is the name of the size.
You want to go mini ATX? You want to do a
not mini, maybe
you should get like a Millennium Falcon case.
No, I'm not trying to do all that work, but probably an ATX or what are they called? Mid tower or something like that.
Mid
tower,
probably
that size. Yeah. But I'll take any suggestions.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because it's like I remember back to making my first computer with my dad and just like buying the parts and like going to
it's
Fry's Electronics, which is a huge like electronics warehouse in the
we
US.
don't have them. We don't have them here.
You don't have Fry's there?
Or Micro Centers. We don't have any of that in Philly. We just have Best Buys. And that's
that's not as good.
Yeah.
No, like Fry's is like the mecca of computer parts. But I remember like going there and, you know, picking out like, a case. Oh, and it's got a side panel, plexiglass side panel. Oh, yeah, that's because like all of the fans have like blue LEDs and stuff, you know, and like hitting up like all this stuff and buying fans, buying a graphics card and a motherboard, and then like hard drives and stuff, a motherboard. And just like putting the pieces together is like a very memorable thing of learning how to do that with my dad.
Yeah, this will be the first time, so I hope he enjoys it. I know I'm gonna have fun.
It's always interesting to bond on things like that.
Yeah.
Now, did your dad ever buy you a computer?
Oh yeah. He's bought me a computer before. I hate to admit it, but he bought me an Alienware once.
Wow. My dad was going to. It was I was in high school. It was when WoW was still in beta. This is the first time that I had played WoW. Was when it was in beta or alpha, and I remember getting a computer. I had my old one, and it ran WoW okay, and I remember even running like Doom 3 on it, like okay. But I got a new computer for a birthday, and he was going to get me an Alienware. It was just one of those things. That's what he wanted to get me, but his credit wasn't working for it to get that, so he ended up getting a Dell XPS. And man, that thing was good.
Yeah.
That was a good computer.
Yeah, besides the one Alienware I had, I always had Dells. But it's funny, looking back, I'm like, oh man, did we get ripped off? Like buying all these pre-built computers, like you could save $300 even back then.
Yeah, even more than that now. Like $2,000 computers, way expensive.
Yeah, so.
And it's just, it was interesting. It was funny, a quick little tangent about that Dell XPS is the processor fan had an issue where it would kick on, and if I started a game, it would just go on full blast, and it would be the loudest thing ever.
Oh,
and both him and I we're sitting in our living room. We're just like, this is so stupid. What's happening? So he calls up Dell, and we had support. And the guy came the next day, opened up the computer, because he was just like there in our town. Opened up the computer, just like, oh, this is what the issue is. Let me replace this. Replaces it. Boom, done, worked. And I was like, dang, that's worth it.
Huh. Wow. I never had any issues with mine like that, but that's pretty
it was fascinating. And now, of course, Dell owns Alienware anyway, so you're technically buying a Dell when you buy an Alienware.
Yeah.
It's better to just make your own.
Just build your own. Just build your own.
It's actually really easy.
And it's
a
fun.
lot of people are frightened by it.
Yeah. It's like adult Legos. That's how we like to describe it. It's adult Legos. Literally, you're just plugging stuff in. That's the scariest part, at least when I built my last computer, the scariest part for me was actually closing the latch on the CPU. I don't know why. Yeah. It's not like I can break it as long as it's seated in there. Fine. But
you see all those like tech support gore posts on Reddit where like all the pins are bent.
Like on the motherboard, it's like, oh, please don't let this happen. It's like, oh, is this too forceful? Am I being too forceful?
But they really make it idiot proof nowadays. It's like it can only fit in one way.
Yeah. Well, people enforce it. I've seen crap where half the pins are bent. Oh god.
It's funny because like obviously, and I've talked about this before, it's funny how I've won 2 graphics cards.
Oh, I hate you so much.
So I won the 960 from the Share Every Win Dying Light contest that happened last year. And then I later that year when Fallout 4 came out, I won one from Day 9, going back to him again, I know, by just voting. I wasn't expecting to win one. I was just voting for fun, and I won a 980 Ti. I was like, well, sweet. So that's what I'm using now. But both times I got those graphics cards, I popped them into the computer, and I did all this stuff. I uninstalled all the graphics drivers, right? And I boot up the computer with the new graphics card in, going, okay, now I just need to install graphics drivers. And it just doesn't get past the boot screen. I'm like, what is going on? Why is this happening? I do not understand why any of this is happening. And it takes me like an hour and a half to figure out, oh, that's because the graphics cards are so huge and I have so many hard drives that it bumps the power cable out of my main boot hard drive. And I don't know why
what?
I always forget that. Yeah, because like, you know, my main hard drive, my terabyte hard drive is right where the graphics card goes, and the 980 Ti is a very long graphics card. So when I'm putting it in, I don't realize that I bumped the power cable on the hard drive. So
I would never think that because mine are way out of the way.
Exactly. So I don't think about that. I boot it up and it's not booting, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? Obviously, there's an issue with the graphics card because that's the thing that would make sense. Turns out I keep unplugging.
Turns out I don't have a hard drive.
Yeah,
that's funny. I was kind of scared too. The last build I did, it didn't have any issues. It literally turned on the first try. I was like, what?
Like, what happened?
Wait, what? Something's got to be wrong.
Something's definitely wrong.
Is it on fire?
It's got to be on fire, right?
Yeah, it's gonna blow up or some crap.
Yeah, building computers is fun. I would highly suggest it. That said, I do get a lot of comments of like, hey, what kind of stuff do you have? Like, what processor do you have? What? Because usually people are like, I'm building a new computer. I want to know what you have because I can see visually you run your games at like 60 frames per second. Yeah. I want that. How does that happen? Yeah. I keep having this stupid company contact us, and maybe I'll actually go for it one of these times. But essentially, they have it so you can put your computer build in a shopping cart of theirs, and people can pick up the parts and replace parts or whatever, and essentially we would get a portion of that that revenue that comes in. So maybe I'll end up setting stuff like that up for all of our computers, but maybe one day. I don't know if there's any interest in that. I'm just kind of throwing that out there.
All I'll say is Zen has a better graphics card than I do, and I hate it every day for it.
Yeah, and I got it for free. I got 2 for free, back to back, same year.
I have a 980, but he has a 980 Ti. It's so sad.
Get wrecked. I can run things at like 5 FPS better. Second pounder. Right. The funny thing is, too, is when NVIDIA sent the first one, it was like, took a few weeks, but they sent it good, right? Everything's solid. When Sean sent the one from me, because I don't think he was the one shipping it. I think it was NVIDIA shipping it. Actually, I know it was NVIDIA shipping it because it shipped from their offices again. And they sent me an email beforehand to make sure that I was the right person, because I think they realized that they've already shipped one to this guy this year.
This guy's got to be scamming us.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, no, I got really lucky, I guess. To be fair, and this is the best way to win things, is to always put things in your favor if you can. So for instance, the Fallout 4 contest was like you were guessing a ton of things. And I had already played Fallout 4. I was playing it for several days because it came out on that Tuesday or that Monday night of that week, and Sean played it on Friday. So I had kind of already known like generally how the game plays out. And one of the questions, and this is the one I wanted on, was how many lockpicks approximately is he going to break by hour 1 or like by hour 2 or something like that? And I guessed it right because I had broken that many lockpicks, and I assumed that he wasn't terabad because I've seen him play games, and that he would roughly get the same amount, and he did. So that's how I won it. Stack it in your favor, fantastic. People. Do you have any other topics other than building computers?
I'm excited. For Christmas, I think I'm getting a Vive.
Oh, that's right. Yes. We talked about that in the Resident Evil stuff.
Yeah, and I'm very excited about that. I can't wait. Garrick was just telling me I should pick up Super Hot because apparently that has an update where you can play that in VR, and I can't wait.
Oh, you should get Eve Valkyrie. I know that you're.
I do like Eve, and I will probably be picking that up too.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna play some tabletop in VR. It's gonna be
tabletop
great.
sim, yeah,
and a lot of adult things in VR. It's gonna be great.
You know, like Super Hot.
No, but it should be fun, and I will keep you guys posted on how it is. I'm super excited.
Yeah, it seems I haven't tried VR, just like full out. I haven't done any of the new VR. I haven't done PSVR. I haven't done Oculus, and I haven't done Vive. I would love to.
I just have a Gear VR, the thing they gave with the Samsung phones. I have that, which is pretty cool, but it's nowhere near what this is going to be.
It feels like to me. And we can discuss this, obviously, that VR feels like it's in its stage 1 infancy, where the first headsets have come out and PSVR is doing really well. It's above it's below their sales expectations because they don't have enough, like they physically do not have enough units to sell, but they would have far more units sold if they did. And that comes down to a production error on one of the lenses. They're trying to fix that. Huh. So like there's obviously a market for VR, and VR is becoming more and more popular. It feels like, though, to me, that I would rather wait for the next Vive or the next Oculus or the next PSVR so they can sort out some of the first generation kinks. And so that time for games can come, because I think a lot of people
only going to get better, though. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are trying to take game concepts that we already have and put them into VR. But I think what needs to happen is people need to make VR games and throw out all of their conventions of what games should be, and make games specifically for VR. We'll see how that happens over the next couple of years. So I'm kind of excited for that aspect of it. But yeah, I've never tried it. You're going to have to let me know.
I will. I will, for sure.
So is there anything in particular you're like, damn, I want to do that in VR?
Just tabletop, I think. I think
really,
tabletop.
Sim?
Yeah.
Like actually picking up the dice and like tossing them?
Yes, I will.
You know what we need to do? Maybe we'll record this and we'll get your first reactions on it. Remember the other night when I popped open Fury of Dracula and we're like, this is cool. Yeah. We need to play this. We should do Star Wars Rebellion in VR. Yeah. And you could be playing in VR and I could see your stupid like VR helmet floating around in space.
I wonder if I'm actually in the game, if I'm going to be sitting in a chair at the table.
I've seen it before. It's just like you can see the headset floating around. You can see like the little hands.
It's just my good
It's hand. Interesting. So I think essentially we should record that and play some Star Wars Rebellion. So not only are we learning the game, but then we can kind of tell people how it is in VR.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah. Oh dear.
I guess it depends if anybody wants to watch that. We'll see. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so when do you get that? You get that on Christmas?
Hopefully Christmas, yes.
You should tweet stuff out. Obviously, this will come out before then, and maybe I'll retweet it and see your initial reactions. Will be live on Twitter.
Woo!
Woo! So, anything else?
No.
Any other topics?
No, I think that's all I got.
I think that is a pretty good wrap up for our first ever OSW podcast. As I said at the beginning, this will change whether or not we do more episodes in a month or not. Kind of depends on the demand for it and how people feel. I was also considering, and obviously people can let me know whether or not this is something they want, where we get halfway through the year and then those first 6 months of episodes will all go free for everybody. And then the following 6 months of episodes would be behind Patreon. Once again, we wanted to give our patrons something cool, and we feel like a show like this, where this is what we do anyways. We just talk about games and garbage like this and life anyway, so may as well make a show out of it, because I've gotten requests for a podcast before, and people really just love and like putting our stuff on another monitor and playing whatever game they're playing. So I think it works out really well. And I know you do that too for like other videos, not necessarily ours. You do watch our videos though, which is weird. I find that weird.
That's weird.
I have to watch our videos anyways. But you're not forced to. That's weird to me.
Yeah. You know.
So again, things will change. We'll see. But we are going to finish every episode by giving shout outs to everybody who has supported over a certain threshold on Patreon. And normally the people from the previous month would not be shouted out, but in this case they are, because this is our first ever episode. So we're going back to November for some of these people. The first obviously is Ken, right? Ken, his first time supporting us, gave us an awesome topic, talked about that for a while. So Ken Archeo, you're awesome, man. Thank you for supporting us for as long as you
keep being you.
Keep doing, you do you. And by you do you, I mean, keep watching our videos. I love you, man. Brendan Anderson, another person who has been supporting us on Patreon, is above the threshold to get a shout out. So thank you again. He's been very generous. And the one that I am going to butcher, and I sent you this name beforehand.
Oh, because you're going to mess it up.
Look, I live in America. I'm stereotypical in some ways. And
should I try and pronounce it with my Philly accent? I don't know.
I'll try first and then you go. Because the first,
okay.
Mihail is Mihail. Like you got to put the accent on it, and I can't do the Eastern European accent. But Mihail Karakachev.
Oh dear.
I'm
so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I cannot pronounce your name. But you know what? You've been very generous.
And you're awesome.
Thank you. And you are very awesome. Thank you for supporting us. But that does it for the first episode ever of the OSW podcast. Leave your comments, your feedback in the comments below. And of course, we'll be back next month, the beginning of the month, to talk about the Nintendo Switch. I almost called it the NX, but no, it hasn't been. We'll talk about the Switch. We'll talk about other games that came out, such as Resident Evil. And we'll also have a couple guests on to talk about the Switch. So it'll be exciting. It'll be fun. Go over to patreon.com/OSWguild to support us there. And with that being said, we shall see you guys next time.
See you guys. Thank you.